Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. Today, a rarity, the Vacheron Constantin Malte Grande Classique. This is the reference 81,000 in white gold, 37 millimeters in diameter. It is 7.7 millimeters thick from lug tip to lug tip, very short across the wrist at 40.6, that is 40.6 millimeters, and a 19 millimeter spacing between the lugs. This model was launched in the year 2000, back before the Malte collection became a tonneau case series, and it had a distinctive set of lugs that defined this as part of the Malte collection. Throwing the watch on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, it wears beautifully, super flat. It'll slide under any cuff. And even with a strap that hasn't been broken in, you can see how well this fits on a small wrist. In fact, as small as 13 centimeters circumference. Equally elegant and properly sized for him and for her. The watch on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist actually looks great. I would actually warn you against presuming a larger wrist cannot wear the watch. We usually talk about lower limits. Just because your wrist is larger does not mean this would look out of place. Traditionally, the rule of thumb has been the smaller the watch, the more expensive. And while this is certainly not the most expensive watch one can buy, certainly the smaller the watch, often the higher the sophistication level. And this is a sophisticated watch with a strap to match. You can see alligator leather, matte finish. It's got a sheer cut side with lacquering for refinement, a monotone stitch on the bottom, you can see. Calfskin, brand new, no crimping, no gouging. The buckle in the form of Vacheron's logo, the Maltese cross. You'll see the Maltese cross again on the crown. It's also the basis for the lug form and the namesake of the series, Malte. Taking a look here, you can see that the lugs are welded on. This is a very laborious and handmade fashion of building a case. And this is the way it used to be done. You would make the lugs separate from the case, insert the lugs into slots within the case, weld them on, and then file to remove the gathered material to create a sharp break between lug and case. And you can see that distinctive and provocative lug designs may be the one consistent design trend at Vacheron through the decades, as it hasn't quite got a Nautilus, Calatrava, Portuguese, or Reverso style definitive icon, but Vacheron's lugs have always been lush, striking, distinctive, and memorable. This, more than any one watch design, is their grandest and most enduring design tradition, and these Malte lugs have a lot of character. Now you can see that the case band is stepped several times to thin it out and create a sort of tier of planes leading up to the lightly cambered sapphire, but also take note that this is an exceptionally bright white gold. So this is a model that came out in 2001, remember, and this appears to be an older example of the model from when Vacheron was still using rhodium-plated white gold, which is why this is as white as platinum and not a warmer tone like gray gold. On the dial, we have white gold indices, Vacheron logo, and hands. The hands are half frosted, half polished broadsword style, the half frosting allowing for greater contrast. A spectacular vague or wave style guilloche on the dial. You'll see more on the case back with an azurage or concentric pattern inside the small seconds. Now you can see the watch on its reverse also features case-back guilloche, as we have a spacer ring between the case and the movement, and it too features the vague or wave guilloche. Now we have Vacheron manufactured caliber 1400, launched back in late 2000 as Vacheron's first modern era manufacture movement, and up to that point one of the precious few in-house calibers ever created by Vacheron. Vacheron was not a movement manufacturer. For most of its first 250 years, it was an établisseur of the highest level. The 1400, along with a contemporary Vacheron tourbillon caliber, helped to move the company into its new era as a maker of movements. The movement is beautiful, as you can see, Geneva hallmark and well earned. You can also see we have 1, 2, 3, 4 sharp interior angles, and you can see where those hand bevels converge in sharp creases, deeply drawn and beautifully decorated. Many Vacheron Geneva seal movements do not feature even one such inward angle. So here, if you look carefully, you can see adjacent to the click, We have even another one of them right there. So Vacheron is not being stingy here. This is a small but mighty movement. First, let's talk about the tech. It's a 4 Hz beat rate adjusted in 5 positions, as most high-end movements are. It's got a 40-hour manual wind power reserve. Again, 4 Hz, Geneva seal, and 20 pivot joules right there. We'll take a look at just how thin this watch is and marvel at the fact that the movement itself is only 2.6 millimeters thick. Taking a quick look at some of the decorative flourishes now, you saw all those beautiful inward angles. Now take a quick look at the ratchet wheel here. See how it features a sort of concentric brushed pattern, a type of subtle solarization. And then you can see that the teeth of the ratchet wheel are individually micro-beveled. That takes time. It's a lovely detail missing on many high-end movements today. All screw heads are mirror polished with chamfered slots in circumference. Beautifully laid abrasive wheel, Côte de Genève. We have satinations on the wheel of the drivetrain. The wheels of the drivetrain are satinated. Engine turning on the base plate. You can see that the regulator cap as well as the stud holder are mirror finished. Geneva seal, there it is right there. Turn it real quick so you can more easily see the click. I'll show you the click in action there. Prevents the watch from running backwards there. Now what you can also see is that there is a secondary spring click up there. Taking a quick look at the movement itself now. Notice the use of KIF shock protection on the balance, and it would be worthwhile to also mention there's a second shock protection spring that's featured on some but not all 1400s, and some people are puzzled by what that is. Many 1400s feature 2 of these KIF springs. So the KIF spring you're looking at right there is a KIF Elastor shock protection spring. This is actually the rarely seen KIF Duo bill. It's a bayonet fixed style shock protection spring, and that's used to hold the capstone on the jewel cup for the escape wheel. And then all of this is water resistant down to 30 meters. If you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.